It was an unbelievable game last night that the Raiders looked like they'd lost. Then it looked like they'd won it. Then the game continued, and eventually the Raiders do beat the Ravens in a thriller last night. And let's go Straight Talk here, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. When I first conceived of coming back and doing this radio show and doing it right after our TV show Get Up, it was for moments like this. I am delighted to have both Dominque Foxworth and Jeff Saturday good enough to stick around and talk some football. Gentlemen, thank you very much for taking a few extra minutes.
Glad to be here, man. Ready to do this. We got some fun.
Oh, yeah. Don't waste time with the pleasantries. Let's get down to the football.
And now we can say all the things that we didn't get a chance to say on TV this morning where they're wrapping us up. Actually, Dominque playing the role of producer today as Marcus Spears was kind of taking up a little bit of the air, and Dominque kind of jumped on him. Let me get... All right, the Raiders win. Good for them, right? Good for John. It's a nice win at home. First game home in Vegas with the fans. All that was great, and we'll see. They play in a very tough division. They have some strengths. The quarterback is good. The tight end is great. The defensive line. But I want to talk about Lamar Jackson because, Nick, you and I have talked a lot about the evolution of that offense, and I suppose in that regard, the evolution of him as a quarterback. And I think as much by accident, if you will, as design, meaning all these injuries – they really don't have the opportunity to do anything but say, go out there and win it for us, kid, any way you can. And he just gets hit so much. He led everyone in carries last night. What we saw from them last night, because he is spectacular, is that sustainable?
No, but it has to be. And I think that this year, them being so reliant on him is the first year that it's by accident. Every other year, it was by design. I think now they started to bring in some receivers, and they had – a stable of running backs that they thought they could trust, and they were trying to take some of the pressure off him. Even in this game, you notice they didn't run design runs for him until like the second half when they were like, oh, it's winning time. We got to go to our bread and butter. So I think the most interesting about Lamar Jackson to me is he's not the typical dual threat quarterback in that he's uncomfortable in the pocket. It's almost like he's too comfortable in the pocket. I remember watching him in college. He would sit back there and go through his reads. It was college, so he had time to do that, and he would hit people. Watching the game last night, he wasn't in a hurry to get out of pocket. He just was waiting for things to come open downfield, and the Raiders had decided, we're not going to give you that. So he was hesitant to hit those 3 or 4 yard checkdowns, which is what he needed to do, especially the way his offensive line was playing last night.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Listen, you talk about the hesitation. Well, your offensive line learned one thing in Pee Wee football and all the way up when you don't get to play quarterback, right? is you don't go broke making a profit, right? You have to take the check down. That was there all night, and he would not do it. And I think he felt better about pulling the ball down and trying to go expose them with his legs than making those throws. But the problem is, and I will say this is not sustainable. Like, there is no way you go through a football season with Lamar Jackson taking this type of punishment without seeing the things you saw last night, which are fumbles, bad plays. And listen, the injuries to me are disastrous. Like, I get everybody thinks it's no big deal. You can replace running backs. It's not the running yards that they're going to sacrifice. It's the ability to pass protect. It's the ability to have continuity in plays. And when you hit big games against good defenses, that's when you're going to get exposed. And the other side, Marcus Peters, the loss of him showed up enormously as the game progressed. Early, it wasn't any big deal, right? They're blitzing him like crazy. They had 17 rushes. He was 0 for 6 on his first. Then he goes 9 for 13 and 200 yards and touchdowns and wins the game on it. Like, at some point, you can't leave those guys on an island because injuries matter. Peters not being there is a huge injury for that football team.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.